Close Sports Pulse USA Today Sports NFL insider Garrett Bell explains why the New Orleans Saints have impressed him the most of any 72 team. USA Today Sports Head Scratcher of the Week goes to Dallas Cowboys coach Jason Garrett. Everyone knew the absence of Ezekiel Elliott would create more pressure on Dak Prescott. But Garrett did a poor job of helping his second-year quarterback. The Cowboys coach deviated from the philosophy upon which his team is built and, as a result, set the offense up to fail in his team's 277 loss at Atlanta Sunday. Yes, Prescott is a crucial figure for the unit. But part of the reason why he has thrived has to do with Dallas' balance. Atlanta's defense had allowed an average of 114.5 rushing yards per contest and 201 the week before. But the Cowboys made only minimal attempts to establish a run game, their running backs posting 65 yards on just 15 attempts. More 40 things we learned in Week 10 of the 2017 NFL season. More NFL Week 10 overreactions. Are Bills doomed to miss playoffs yet again? Garrett put his trust in Prescott's arm. But a Falcons defense that entered Sunday's game with just 18 sacks all year racked up 8 sacks by Adrian Claiborne against Dallas. A Cowboys offense that had averaged better than 25 points a game mustered just one touchdown. Replacing Elliott's 98 rushing yards per game is not easy, nor is playing without All-Pro left tackle Tyron Smith. But a coach has to find ways to mask those deficiencies, and remaining committed to the run would have been his best bet. Sure, there's a drop-off from Elliott to Alfred Morris. A 3-time 1,000-yard rusher and 2-time Pro Bowl back, Morris is more than capable. But success in the run game requires patience. In their first 2 possessions, the Cowboys ran the ball 5 times and threw it 6 times. After having to punt at the end of their first series, they got the ball back thanks to an interception, and then scored on a Prescott scramble. Morris had just 9 yards on those 5 carries, but he has shown that he grows more effective with a heavy late-game workload. This is where the patience comes in. 2-time Super Bowl winning coach Mike Shanahan, whose teams could always run with the best of them, both in Denver and Washington, always used to preach the importance of sticking with the run early. The benefits are twofold. Production might not arrive immediately, but after consistently pounding the ball, the defense wears down. Then, the small gains from the first and second quarter turn into long runs in the second. The other benefit of maintaining a balance, keeping an opponent honest. It's much harder for defenders to go full bore after the quarterback when they have to worry about playing the run as well. That's when an offense can capitalize on a big play-action pass. But Dallas didn't create those opportunities. The Cowboys scrapped the run midway through the first quarter. Prescott handed off just once more and dropped back 16 times. Then, after gains of 14 and 20 yards early in the third quarter, Morris scarcely had his number called again. While Garrett repeatedly called pass play after another, the Falcons to feast on Prescott. Dallas coaches also made the puzzling decision not to give struggling backup left tackle Chaz Green more help against Claiborne. An extra tight end could have made a difference. At 54, the Cowboys remain in the mix for a wildcard spot. The 63 Seahawks and Panthers are ahead of them, and Dallas plays the NFC-leading Eagles Sunday night. For the Cowboys to have a chance, Garrett has to get back to balance and patience. Costly stubbornness in Houston. Despite his 47.3% completion percentage, 62.2 passer rating, 5 fumbles lost, 2 interceptions, and just 2 touchdown passes in 4 appearances, and an 0-3 record guiding the once promising Houston Texans, Tom Savage will remain the starting quarterback. Bill O'Brien announced the news to reporters Monday morning, the day after his team lost 337 to the Rams. This is truly a mind-bending decision by O'Brien. He committed to Savage to start the season, and the 4th-year pro didn't even last beyond the first half of the opener. In came Deshaun Watson, and the Texans suddenly looked like a contender. But Watson's season-ending knee injury has sent O'Brien back to his seemingly stubborn ways. As Watson showed, the Texans have the components for a thriving passing game. His success even created opportunities for running backs. So, why stick with a guy that magnifies every wart on the team? Savage repeatedly displays poor pocket presence. He holds on to the ball too long, which puts more pressure on his line. He takes unnecessary sacks, 12 in total this season, and puts his team in worse field position. but O'Brien plans to stick with him. Perhaps O'Brien doesn't have confidence in the guys behind Savage. Journeyman TJ Yates and Josh Johnson are the only other options on the roster. But the Texans can continue this way. It's time to swallow pride, call Colin Kaepernick, and have him run the same schemes that Watson put to use to ignite this offense. Kaepernick could struggle some picking up terminology and learning the scheme inside and out. But Savage supposedly knows the system, and it can't get much worse than this. Good problem for Vikings. Teddy Bridgewater's return to the active roster had Vikings fans excited about the chances that the young quarterback can again become the face of the franchise and dare the promising body of work that he displayed before last August's gruesome knee injury. And this time last week, Minnesota faced the question of whether to stick with Case Keenum or whether to reinsert Bridgewater as starter for the first time since 2015. But Keenum quieted those "we want Eddie" chants, as he completed 72% of his passes for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns while leading his team to a 3,830 win over Washington. That's the 5th straight victory for the Keenum-old Vikings, who now stand at 72. Now Minnesota has a more important decision on its hands. With Keenum and the offense topping 33 points in back-to-back victories, it seems unwise to risk disrupting this rhythm. Ride this horse until he falters. The legitimate question for Vikings brass isn't whether or not they should make a change at quarterback right now, but if they should sign Keenum to an extension. The team currently doesn't have a quarterback under contract for 2018. It's hard to envision Minnesota being able to bring back its current group, which also includes Sam Bradford, given the injury histories of the other two and the steady, albeit generally unflashy, play of Keenum. Riding their current hot hand beyond this season could be the smart bet. Follow Mike Jones on Twitter at @BuyMeCajones. Photos best of NFL Week 10.